Hello and good morning. This is Dr. Madhuri here, and I welcome you all in my channel. Friends, today I brought very essential and very required, very demanding video. This video is related to the academics, or you can say particularly for research scholar, because many time it happens that scholar do keen work in their entire research, but at the time of viva they are confused, they are fumble, they are under the stress, or they are not prepared completely to face each and every questions. So in that case it is very much important that candidate must prepare themselves to organize their answer in nutshell, or wherever it is required to present in an elaborated manner. They should have that both skills or presentation qualities that audience can satisfied with their answers, because research is the original work. They know how they did and what sequence happened, and means it is entire like the story written by the research scholar on facts and figures. So nothing to worry about how to face certain kind of questions. It is always you have to prepare before you appear for the PhD viva. So it is very much important that you should know a certain kind of questions which may ask in viva on very frequent basis. So if you are prepared with that, you will be very much confident to face your viva, and yes, your presentation will be very much impactful and appropriate. So let's see which these top 16 questions are. Question number 1. It may be about your research title, research problem. So maybe audience or expert panel want to understand why you have chosen this research problem. What is the scope? What kind of findings will be there, and how these findings will be contributive for the betterment of society, or to fulfill the gap which is there in literature. Okay, moving towards next question. Question number 2 is on study variables. So study variables are very much important element of our research. It is a core element, I can say, right? Because we measure it, we observe it, we examine it. So all study is around or on these variables. So they are very much vital, very much crucial for our research point of view or research work. So, very consciously, with a justifiable reason, you have to select these study variables. And on this point, the expert may ask you question why you have chosen these study variables, and what is the base to select these study variables as a your study variables. So you have to give base as the need of your research, like what gap is there in literature, and what is the need of that particular gap that we have to study. So it indicates that the support is coming from the review of literature, support is coming from the requirement, and third is, as you are clear with the term and types of variables, you have chosen an appropriate variable which is suitable for your research study. So you can merge all this information together and present in a very organized manner that why you have selected or determined this as a study variables on basis of these three or four background information. Moving towards next question. Question number 3. This question is also from the study variables. Many times it has been seen that people from the audience they ask question types of variables, which is dependent, which is independent variable in your research. So you should be very much clear about which variables are called dependent and which variables are called independent. So by just understanding the the term, you can easily understand. Like for example, treatment is independent because treatment is a structure, and any other variable like physiological variable, like physical variable, like motor fitness variable, these are the dependent variables because treatment is given to these variables and changes will occur in dependent variables. So like that, you have to understand which is independent and which is dependent variable in your research. So this kind of small testing also happen through your viva examination. Moving towards next question. Question number 4. Study objectives. Many times people are not very sound in writing objective of their study. Sometimes very lengthy statement they write, sometimes the meaning is not conveying through their objective. So it is very much important that objectives is like a directives. They give you a clear cut idea what you're going to test through this study, how you're going to establish or how you're going to test the connection between the variables. Okay, so it is very much important that your writing skill should be very much sound when you're writing your objective or other elements. So this particular question is asked by the audience and by the expert to understand what you want to test and what you want to observe throughout your study and how you will interpret this observation in chapter 4, right? So this is the intention to understand what is objective of your study. Have you understand it or have you written in a right way? Question number 5. Question number 5 is related to the study hypothesis. Your audience and your expert panel want to understand on what basis you form your hypothesis. So, because generally we consider review of literature and weightage of reviews and in which direction review goes, according to that we can establish our hypothesis. And second thing, which type of hypothesis also depends upon the base come from the review of literature. So expert expect this answer from you, so they ask question in a different way. So this question may be sometime tricky for you or sometime direct for you. So sometime you will be very confident, very comfortable. Sometime you feel confusion in answering, you're not properly lined up to answer it, or maybe you don't have that statistic data with you that you can directly say this much percentage of review directing this hypothesis to form. Moving towards next question. Question number 6. This question is related to conceptual framework of your operational definition. So what is operational definition is, if you see, there are so many definition written in the operational definition area or the part, but many times these are adopted as it is. And when you adopt it as it is from other research work, your expert will definitely raise question about this particular term, how you frame it, and if it is not suitable as per your research study, they will definitely ask you question the meaning of that particular definition as per your research work. So very important is that you should aware consciously should adopt definition, and when you're adopting definition from other reviews, other literature, you modify it according to your requirement. Okay, because operational definitions are definitions which indicates or which shows how certain terms are understood in your research. So action can be understood through that terms. So that terms, just like we use codes or we use certain words to understand that entire, the description behind that particular term or word. Likewise, your operational definition, that particular term describe action happen in your research. So how you are using that term in your research. So if you are not aware of that how this term you are going to use in your research, definitely you will face trouble to define or defend this kind of question. So it is very important that from the beginning you should have clarity about what operational definition I am writing in my research thesis, and how these definitions are directly related to my research work. Moving towards next question. Question number 7, related to delimitation or limitation of your research study. This question is very common question asked by many time audience and expert. But when expert ask this question, they are very much interested to understand what is a genuine reason behind considering certain aspect as a delimitation or a limitation of your study. Means like they expect justifiable answer from you, how you have a threshold or how your limit not allowing you to consider this listed limited limitations, and how you're means like how you're capable to work on the aspects which is listed under the delimitation. So very important is like you should be very much clear about why you consider something and why not something else, and you should not be confused between these delimitation limitation terms, because some many time I have seen that so many the candidate, they get confused at the time of explaining delimitation and limitation terms. So you should be very much sure about the terms whichever you are using in your thesis, whichever you are using in your presentation. You should be 100% sure that if anyone asks you question about all this aspect, you are capable that you're conveying a correct meaning or correct answer to them. Moving towards next question. Question number 8. How did you determine sample size? This is again very much common question which is asked in most of the vivas. The reason behind it is many research scholar, they are not very much clear about how to fix the sample of the study, or how to calculate what are the formulas or what are the accepted values, what is the range. So this kind of questions are expected in a research viva, because this is one of the very challenging question to defend by the researcher. So you should have thorough knowledge about how you determine your sample size. Very very important. Like what is your population size, population frame, and what is the sample frame, and why you have chosen this much sample size, with what calculation, with what consideration, with what acceptance. So all these references are very very important. You have to consent to your PhD supervisor, you have to discuss on this point. You should be very much clear about how you calculate it. Many times the guides also take help of a statistician. So there is no harm to take expert opinion at the time of you fix your sample size. Moving towards next question. Question number 9 is about sampling procedure. This is one of the most vital, important, significant question I can say, which is asked frequently in a Viva, because sampling error is one of the big error in your research work which may take your research in a wrong direction. So it is very important to ensure there should not be any sampling error. So which include your sampling technique and the weightage given at the time of collecting samples. Very minute consideration you have to understand, because this kind of question are expecting answer a little bit more significant, more justifiable. Moving towards next question. Question number 10, research design. So this is one of the very popular question which is asked in the PhD Viva. What is your research design? As we all know that every research has a different type, different nature, hence the methodology adopted is also differs, and so the designs also structured or prepared or adopted which is suitable for the research. So from researcher or candidate point of view, it is very important that he should have a very minute knowledge about entire procedure of the study, entire phases, entire segments, entire steps, because what happened in which step, that observation also he has to explain, and that is what essence of your doing research, because you come to know a certain thing which is hidden, which is unknown. Because when we start designing this research design, at that time whatever perception, whatever information, whatever guidance we receive, beyond that if you are experiencing something new, or beyond your capacity something you feel that is challenging, you have to address these all points at this time, so that you can show how loyal and how honestly you completed your research work. Question number 11, about data collection tool. Not many questions can be framed for this. Why you have chosen this particular data collection tool? Have you tested any other equal caliber tools? Have you tested its reliability, validity? Have you conducted pilot study? Have you trained your tester, and have you checked their tester competency? And likewise, so many questions can be lined up one after another regarding this tool. So it is very important. First, you should follow the protocol. You should first of all, whatever test, whatever tool, whatever uh, instrument you are going to use in your research, first of all see whether it is very appropriate for your research work. One. Number two, go through all procedural protocol like validity, reliability, conducting a pilot study, having that data in your presentation, conduct tester competency, right? So you follow all the protocol. Again, you provide a feedback from or the reference from the literature also, how this particular tool or test is most or widely accepted by other researchers also. So this is a very strong base to defend this question, that how your tool is very appropriate and perfect for your research work. Moving towards next question. Question number 12. This is next question for the tool where particularly validity, reliability or objectivity is asked. So most of the time this question raised in when test construction, tool construction or in instrument construction take place. In that condition, particularly very independently this question may raise, because when you are developing or constructing any tool, technique or questionnaire, definitely their validity, reliability, you have to establish. That is a by procedural protocol, and many time a lengthy discussion may take place on these questions. uh, Accepted values for validity, reliability, objectivity may ask which technique or which calculation you use to establish. This kind of question may ask on this segment. So this is very important question that researcher keep in mind, that lengthy discussion can happen and he should be very much aware, alert and very much prepared to answer such kind of question in a nutshell or wherever it is required in a little bit elaborative manner. Moving towards next question. Question number 13. This is related to statistical application in your research work. So, after you complete your data collection process, that raw data we use for data analysis, because we have a certain objective, we have a certain hypothesis. So, after analysis, what values we will receive, we have to interpret the meaning of that values. Hence, it is very important that we should know appropriate statistical technique. Expert may ask question on what nature of data it is, which technique is most suitable, is there any other parallel technique was available. So this question you have to defend very nicely. Moving towards next question. Question number 14. This question majorly related to your major findings. When you are facing or defending question answer session, that time your expert may ask to address your major finding in brief. So you don't have a scope to read your all major findings. You should prepare yourself well advanced, that in a brief you can address all your major findings. Question number 15. This question is asked about how the study findings or results will contribute to the society. If you remember in the beginning, we talk about the scope. What is the scope of your study? Why we determine this study to take for research? There itself, we have some study, we have some facts and figure in our hand that this is a scope why I'm doing study. So after finishing your entire research, when your results comes out, you can say how this result can be fulfill the gap which is there in the literature, which is there in the research work, and how the society can uplift, upgrade or maintain or resolve certain issues. So this way you can always mention how your research is going to contribute to the society, what new, what solution based you're giving to society for the betterment or for smooth functioning. Question number 16. This question is related to your recommendations because every study has some recommendation as per the conducted study and the experience observed in their study. So they recommend combination, they recommend parameters, variables, they recommend population or sample, they recommend a different approach to conduct this kind of research work, or they recommend some observations also which need to focus, which is maybe not highlighted, not discover earlier, which they might be explore during their research work. So this kind of recommendations are given at the end of the thesis and the presentation. These recommendations are very very important for future researcher to proceed from that point to go for the next end or next slide. So friends, here we completed 16 question. Very important question was left from my presentation, which can come after major finding question. That is, what is conclusion of your study? So you have to give conclusion of your study in a single one sentence, or if it is required in a points, because this is the answer to a research question. So you have to have that combination always together, that for what something is coming to end and what something which is at the beginning. Okay, so here I'll stop my 16 question discussion, and I can say if you prepare yourself for all the 16 17 questions, definitely will reach up to 70% of preparation to defense viva, because every panel, every audience is different, every zone of asking question is different. So we have that scope of 30%, that that 30% question may come from the expert or may come from the audience. Okay, so that scope we are giving to them, that you even try your extend your efforts beyond this 16 question, form minute questions, and assume that this question will also appear in a viva, and how you will defend it. So it is very simple. You should just use your intellectual brain and understand the flow of your research work. It will definitely make you very comfortable, very much alert, update, that at the time of interview you will not face any hesitation, any demoralization. You will be always motivated, you will be very happy to share your experience. You might inspire other by delivering such a wonderful presentation. So I can say all the very best for your research work and PhD viva, and do share my video with your friends, those are doing research, PhD viva or master dissertation, or even they are doing research project. And subscribe my channel, because I'm going to again post a few more video regarding research. I hope my videos will be more convenient to understand by audience. Do write your comment in comment box so that I can communicate and connect with you directly by your feedback. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye bye.